What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, let's get straight into the charts. So you'll see that we're on the daily and we came right back in our range. Not quite what we expected on dollar, but nonetheless we'll continue. And we don't have any high impact news on Friday, so we need to take that into consideration, as it likely means we're probably not going to get much movement. But nonetheless, in terms of premium PD arrays that we may be wanting to trade to, we can look at this long wick from Tuesday and look at the midpoint of that as a potential draw on liquidity. And then as we drop down to the lower time frames, we can look around that range to see if there's any PD arrays up there that price may want to trade up towards. So I am looking for an up close day on Friday, but I'm really not too concerned because we've traded to both buy side and sell side PD arrays this week already. So that's why Friday I'm a little bit more skeptical and a little bit more weary as we go into that day. So nonetheless, we've got the midpoint now drawn out, and then let's drop down to the 4 hour, and you'll see there's a massive inversion fair value gap that's now formed right here. This should be able to provide a support, and we can also split this up into quarters as well. So let's get that all marked out for us like so. So we'll get the midpoint, the 25% level, marked out as well. Just drag that down. And basically, I'm now looking for this 4 hour inversion fair value gap to provide support to then send price higher and start reaching back into this range right here. So let's go down to the 1 hour, and you'll see how we had quite a bullish day. Price started running from 9 a.m. and has been trading on higher since. So any kind of retracement back into this range, ideally only to this 25% level that I've marked out. Once price gets there, I'll be looking to see can it find support, and if that's the case, I'd like to think that we can start reaching up into this premium and start running out these buy stops right here. So we can mark this out as buy side liquidity, and I'll be looking for these highs to get ran on the Friday if we are going to get much movement. Again, considering how much movement we've had this week, right from Monday through to Thursday, I do believe Friday will likely be quiet, and obviously there's no high impact news, so that's another reason for potential for a quiet day. And another thing to take note of is this gap right here. So we have an opening gap, and if we drag that through, we've also traded through that. With this taken into account, when we trade through opening gaps like this, they are used as buffers as well, similar to fair value gaps. So the same way, we're expecting price to be able to find support inside of it to then send it higher and reach for our buy side liquidity target. So overall, moving into Friday, I do want to see if we can trade on higher and reach that buy side, especially now that we have this huge 4 hour inversion fair value gap. We have a 25% level that lines up with fair value gaps and bullish order blocks, and there's clearly a willingness to want to trade higher. So I am definitely watching this buy side liquidity, and then that 50% level, which also lines up with a 1 hour bearish order block as a potential high for Friday. So that's everything on dollar. Definitely low risk tomorrow, but nonetheless, let's head on to GBP USD. So you'll see, obviously we traded lower, and if we're expecting higher dollar, we want to see a continuation to the downside on pound as well. So we do have Monday's lows, and you'll see that Monday didn't actually make a wick. Well, not in this data, it didn't anyway. So I am definitely looking at that Monday low as a potential draw for price. And then we also have a nice daily fair value gap down there as well. Now I doubt we're going to trade right down into that fair value gap, but it is very possible because we do have high impact news on pound. So we do need to be wary of that, and that's at, what time is that? That's going to be at 2 a.m. as well. So we need to be in the charts around that time, expecting some kind of run or draw to liquidity, and we may find that some setups form around that time as well that will help push price lower, or a setup will form in the premium. In terms of premiums, now we want to start looking at potential premium PD arrays that Friday may want to trade into, that we can use to key off to then send price lower. So we have this clear bearish order block now. We can look at the opening price of that, and it'll be interesting to see if London can trade into that before we do trade on lower. I will mark out the low just because it's closer to current price, and as we drop down to the lower time frames, hopefully we can find some more. So let's go to the 4 hour, and you'll see there's these two down close candles. So again, price may want to retrace back into that. It doesn't have to. There is an inversion fair value gap here, so price should find resistance at that anyway. So let's drag that through. And again, if we do manage to retrace into there, I'll be expecting shorts in line with dollars longs to then send it down into that sell side liquidity from Monday, which you can see is practically invisible, but it's also lined up with this massive gap down here. So let's get that drawn out and make that blue. And that Monday low, like I said, the data is quite skewed. It's really weird, so I'm not really sure how we can use that. But nonetheless, let's go to the 1 hour. And you can see a little swing high has been made right there. But the same applies. I'm looking to see if we can trade down into this 4-hour fair value gap mainly. So let's get rid of this sell side from Monday, just because you can clearly see the data is a bit messy on the daily. And you can see that this 4-hour fair value gap also has a 1-hour fair value gap in it as well. So it'd be nice to see if pound can expand down into that. Obviously, that's got to be in line with dollar trading on higher into its premium, which is that buy side we wanted to see get traded through. So that's everything on pound. Again, low risk tomorrow. I'm not really expecting much movement. We've had way too much movement this week for me to expect much on the Friday. These relative equal lows, if we don't grab them tomorrow, it's likely we can start thinking about those moving into the new week. And finally, let's finish up on Euro USD. We'll start on the daily here as well. Obviously, another down close day. We need to now look for bearish PD arrays that we may want to reach for. Again, I'm going to be looking at the midpoint. Consequent encroachment. Yes, we can trade through it, but again, I'm not expecting too much movement on the Friday. So this is going to be like the minimum I want to see price trade to in terms of creating a low. And then we do have this massive up close candle, which is now a bearish order block because we traded through it on the Thursday. So what we can do is look at the midpoint of that, which is what we call mean threshold, and use that to try and find and help us key where price may want to help us find premium PD arrays that price may want to key off to send it lower. So let's go to the 4-hour. And you'll see we've had very heavy price action to the downside. Again, we've got another inversion fair value gap. I'll just mark this out. So if price retraces back into there, what we're expecting, resistance, is also in line with this wick, which is nice to see. And then I'll be looking for us to trade on lower towards that consequent encroachment. And depending on how weak we are, we could go lower and start running out that Tuesday low. But like I said, with the lack of news, I doubt that's going to happen. But it's always a possibility. Let's go to the 1-hour, and you'll see there's a bearish order block here and a slight breaker, high, low, higher, high. We've broken lower, so this wick right here is in line with our inversion fair value gap, which is even more reason as to why I want to find resistance at this point to then look for shorts to run down into that level. You'll also see that this level, which is the consequent encroachment from the daily, it also lines up with a 1-hour bullish order block, so even more reason to see price can draw down into there. So that's going to be everything for now. Thank you so much for watching. I am doing a live stream on Sunday, so make sure to have your post notifications turned on. It will be Sunday at 8 p.m. London. Definitely join the Discord to be reminded as well, and join the mailing list as well. All the links are in the description, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.